you had an experience in Gardiner, Montana. And I remember that when we talked about it through an email, you were like, it's just weird because it kind of connected to a lot of stuff that was going on with UFO disclosure stuff in the news. And it was kind of like sparking memories in you. So take it away.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've just been trying to figure out what the heck this was. So I've been getting some answers, I think, finally. But anyway, what happened was this is back in 2020. It was March 31st of 2020. And I lived up in Montana, but I went to Gardiner, Montana, just to get away from all the new COVID stuff that was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in Gardner, and of course that place was a ghost town because they shut the park down and all that business. So I ended up staying in this little place on the Yellowstone River, and I remember waking up March 31st, and there was a massive earthquake over in Idaho, and Yellowstone rocked like 4 or 5 times more than it normally did. I'm just throwing that out there in case what happened I'm ready to tell you about had something to do with it. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think the earthquake in Idaho was the second largest they ever had. It was like a 6.4 or something.
Wow.
I felt it actually in Gardner when it did that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I get back. I'm out fly fishing and stuff all afternoon. It was very cold, but that's what I do. So I get back to my room. I'm winding down. It gets about 11 o'clock. I've been talking to some people, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I look over towards the bed, and I'm noticing there's something on the wall. It's like it looked like when you look at hot asphalt, the little heat waves that come off. It looked like that against the wall, but it had a yellow tint to it. Even it was just flowing on the wall. It's like I'm just sitting there going, "What the heck is that?" And I just didn't make much. I was tired. I didn't make a big deal out of it. So I just got in bed. I'm laying on my back, and there's this smoke detector on the ceiling. It has that little green light on it.
Mm.
And I get looking at that, and I start seeing this shadow, and it's about the size of a large house cat. And I'm not making any angles. I just see this shadow up there, and I'm going, "Am I seeing something?" And all of a sudden, that little green light would blink on and back off again, on and back off, like there was something moving in front of this light. I went, "Holy cow!" So I grabbed my phone off the bedside table. I'm looking down at my phone, put it in video mode. I get up on my knees on the bed, and I held my phone up, and I kind of still see that shadow. And then I push record for video, and the light comes on. There's nothing there. And so I'm videoing for a while, and it's like, well, there's something there. I turned the video back off again, and it goes dark again. I still see that shadow. I see it kind of move, and I'm just like, so I put my phone over to taking flash pictures, and every time the flash went off, there's like all these like glitter. It was like the flash was reflecting off all these particles or something. Anyway, so I try to do a couple dark pictures, and I get up then out of bed. I walk over, I flip the light on. I'm looking over there like, what in the heck's going on? And the wall is now going crazy. It's like something, it's hard to explain what was on the wall, but I have some ideas now. But and so I said, whatever's up there is light sensitive. So I'll make this quick. So I go over to the bathroom, and I turn the bathroom light on. I just barely cracked the bathroom door, walk back out in the room. And the thing that was on the ceiling, I still don't see anything up there, but now the wall is like really active. And all of a sudden, some of that material, whatever it is, breaks off the wall and starts dropping down on my bedside table and forming into something. And it just kind of like, whoa. And I just went and flipped the light on real quick and said, okay, what is going on here? You get that place where it's like, should I call the police? It's like, no, because they'll get out here and they'll think I'm crazy. So I'm sitting there going, okay. So now I'm like 20 minutes into this, okay? And I had this feeling you felt like that thing was on the ceiling, but you couldn't see it.
Mm.
And so there was this heater, one of those little wall heaters. I noticed it had a little light on it. I said, okay, what I'll do is I'll just leave that on. That little light is like an LED light. I'll turn everything else off, sit in a chair, let my eyes adjust, and walk over there and see what I see. So I sat there for like 10, 15 minutes in this chair, let my eyes adjust as best I could. I walk over to the bed. I kind of get down on my knees. And I look up, and I went, oh, my God. That's not what I said exactly, but I saw it. And I don't know if you have that. I did an AI-generated picture of what I was seeing.
Look, we'll pull it up. And while Alex pulls it up, I'm sure there's people listening who are like, man, this guy must do drugs or something. Paul, do you have a history of drugs? Do you have a history of drinking? Do you hallucinate a lot? For those listening?
No, I've done my drinking and stuff, but I've never hallucinated that I know of, and I've never done any hallucinogenics, and I sure wasn't doing anything that night.
So
Nothing.
for those, I just want to, for those who are only listening and not watching this show, Paul here has consulted AI, which I do recommend against, but he did it to create like a sketch of this thing that he saw in his room in Montana. It's a horrific like spider, like a metallic spider with like a neck, and it has like a almost like a metal helmet over its face. I mean, it looks like something out of Hellraiser. For those who've listened to Hellraiser, it's like a face hugger. Was that what they were called from Alien? Or the movie Alien with the thing that pops out of the guy's chest? Whatever this is,
I know, right?
It's terrifying.
And like arachnophobia.
It's all the things I don't like in one.
Well, it basically it had the spider legs. It had an abdomen as an ant, and the head was a prey mantis, but it had a shield. It had like a helmet shield on. Look, my imagination couldn't even thought this up. For one, I wasn't on anything. I wasn't hallucinating. Look, I don't expect anybody to believe me on this, but that's what I saw.
Right.
That's what I saw.
Right. That's the closest you get. It's crazy
you saw what you saw.
that you asked AI to make like a sketch of this suspect, and it gave you it's a haunting image. And for now, it's on my own personal YouTube page. So I wanted to get it up quickly, so we could pull it up for your story. I forget, was it Dr. Shane Cashman?
Yeah, Dr. Shane.
I'm a doctor because I paid $20 for a website to give me a degree. But so
a degree in paranormal?
No, I forget. Doctorate in
degree in fake clouds?
I forget what it was. It was to marry people, but then I picked a fancy one for like religious studies. But Paul, your story is interesting because typically people tell us stories like this, and it's like sleep paralysis, and sleep paralysis, like demons or whatever these things are, seem to have like tentacles. We've had Tim on the show. He's had that. I've had sleep paralysis like once or twice in my life. I've also seen a tentacle like thing, not like that, whatever that thing is, way worse. But it's a repeating theme in the sleep paralysis story. However, you were getting up and moving around, right?
Yeah, I never fell asleep. This all happened about, it started about 5 minutes into trying to fall asleep. I was rolling around the bed. I started looking at that little light on the smoke detector, and then it escalated. I never went to sleep. And right now we're 45 minutes into this thing messing with it. It's not like I saw something really quick. This thing's on my ceiling.
So why do you have this connected? Do you find any connection between that earthquake earlier and this? Is that why you set it up that way, or just happened to happen that day?
Yeah, I strictly brought that up just in case somebody else might know something that has to do with earthquakes, because it was a major earthquake. You can look it up. It was like the second strongest ever in Idaho, and it happened at 5:55. I remember I felt it. So I don't know.
How did this resolve?
I don't know really anything. I just know it happened. What took place, and I'll finish up what took place here.
Yeah.
So I let my eyes adjust. I walked over. I look up. I see that it's upside down, of course, but it's looking at me through that. I could see the reflection of that LED light off its body. It almost looked metallic, but it was very organic at the same time. And it would sit there and just stare at me. And I'm doing a video of it now. I took the light off my video. I just turned it off to where I was just videoing in the dark, and you can hear me talking like I'm saying, I'm not crazy. This thing is above me right now. And it was really strange because I'm sitting there videoing this thing and trying to do a couple things at once, but all of a sudden we connected like subliminally or something. And right when that happened, it stood up and walked over to me. That was so unbelievably. I don't even like to even think about it. It just stood up and went and walked across the ceiling right above me. Now we're within 2.5, 3 feet of each other.
Whoa. And it made a sound? It made a sound?
Nothing. I just went, and it just, and I just went, shit. You hear me in the video go, hi, and I just jumped up. I turned the lights on, like, holy shit. And the wall was still going crazy. I didn't see the thing that was up there. It must camouflage itself or something when the lights come on or something. And I'm standing there like, I'm an hour into this. Like, what's going on here? I can't sleep in here. It's close to now, probably midnight, a little after midnight.
Right.
And it's like 5 degrees outside. So I actually went out to my truck to sleep in my truck. And that lasted for about an hour. I got back in the room about probably 1:15 because I have some other pictures on my phone that was about that time. Mm-hmm. But I just decided to sit in a chair with the lights on until the next morning, which I did.
Wow.
And the next morning comes and I started calling some people, and I probably shouldn't have done that and told them what happened because they didn't believe me and thought I was crazy. Are you okay, Paul? It's like, I guess. And then I decided just to go do some fishing again. I was really tired. I got back to the room. It was one of these bluebird days. I laid on the couch. I put a book on tapes on, and the sun was coming through the window and everything. Everything was good. And I fell asleep for like 20 minutes. I woke back up and I look at myself, and that stuff that was on the wall is now around my body. And I take it, I could move this stuff with my hands. And I'd held my hands up, and believe it or not, it's coming in out of the end of my fingers. Just the craziest thing in the world. And then I get up real quick, it all dissipates, and that was the end of that story. That was it.
Wow. That's weird. Do you connect this stuff happening to the near-death experience as if something opened up in your mind to experience these things?
I don't think I can connect it to that, but I can connect it to some of the stuff I'm hearing right now about plasma. Okay, I think that was plasma.
Tell us more.
I think the plasma shape shifted in front of me. I think the plasma got in the room. I think that because I watched it come off the wall. Now that I know what plasma looked, it came off the wall and started turning into something. That thing on the ceiling, I think, it did turn into whatever it was supposed to turn into.
So when you say,
I don't know. I mean, but they're saying these orbs are shape shifting into different things, and I've looked into it a little bit, and it's very. Even Ashton Forbes talks about this right now.
That's right.
A lot of people are talking about these orbs now, how they're made of plasma, and they can actually shape shift into 3-dimensional things.
That's right. Yeah, I've been following him talk about it too. Is your take on that? If it's like the plasma thing, is this like a interdimensional being? Is this something created here? What do you take away from that?
Yeah, I think it's interdimensional. I think it's coming from a different dimension. And a lot of people thinking, they look at it, it's like, God, it's evil. I don't know if it's evil. I don't know. I don't know why whatever this entity would want to present itself like that. Was it trying to scare me? I could tell it was extremely intelligent. I just could feel it. It was like I was at its mercy, but it didn't do anything to me. At least I don't think it did.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing that I can say might have happened, I've had real bad rheumatoid arthritis after that situation, if that means anything. Now I'm getting older. I might have just gotten it. It is the timing of it all, but that's one thing I have noticed.
Right. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's hard to say. My feeling is that it's probably not a good thing. That it's almost like it seemed like it was feeding off of your fear.